What's good, people? It's the Rap Roundtable here. Your boy Jarv, Sincere the Rap Snob, Diddy the Balance, the homie Mase. We just need y'all to like, share, and subscribe when you tap into the videos. We're trying to reach 10K subs, and with your help, we can definitely do that. Especially people who watch the videos and don't sub. You watching, we appreciate it, but the subs help us run it up even more. For our people who are already sub, make sure you hit that bell right next to the subscribe option. Pick all. When you pick all, it allows us to feed you what you need to get from us immediately. If you don't hit all, you'll get it when YouTube decides to give it to you. But if you hit all, you get the streams, you get the community posts, you get our regular uploads, you get everything. Hit all, help us run these numbers up, 10K, build a Rap Roundtable brand. Tap in with us. Peace.
The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. The most dangerous, most inspirational, most influential, okay with social media tags, okay with whatever you talk about in the chat, New York's #1 podcast for hip hop today. The Rap Roundtable returns with episode 78.
Yeah.
It's your boy Jarv here alongside Sincere the Rap Snob.
What up, what up?
Alongside Dini the Balance.
The force be with you.
Alongside the homie Mase.
What's going on, y'all?
And you can find the Rap Roundtable on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X, a.k.a. Twitter.
Yo, Elon's about to fuck X up.
Nigga.
Man.
Different.
As you file in, hit the like button. As always, the goal is 300 likes on YouTube for each and every release.
Get him up.
Even if it's just 1,000 views, we need 300 likes. The like button is free. We invite whatever slander y'all bring to the comment section. We love it. But just hit the like button. Give us something if you're going to take. You know what I'm saying? It's a give and take situation.
Facts.
And roundtablemerch.com. If you need one of these hats, one of these truckers, the new symbol of the culture, the Rap Roundtable, because not only is it a podcast, it's basically a metaphor for rap discussions. Whether we agree or disagree, the Rap Roundtable is where you pull up to discuss whatever you feel like discussing within the culture. And we won't judge your opinions. We won't argue with you. We won't try to tell you what to think, because it's all part of the conversation at the Rap Roundtable. So wear the symbol, represented well at roundtablemerch.com.
Yes, sir.
Let's get right to it, fellas. I ain't here to play tonight.
Wait. Who made this beat?
Oh, see, I'm ready to pod. We got some topics. This beat right here, this vibey ass beat. Because there's different kind of vibes right here. This ain't no coffee house.
Nah.
This ain't the corner block. This is just real laid back.
Mellow shit.
This ain't lo-fi type
This
beat.
ain't, nah, there you go. This is what
In the
Dini,
search engine.
Jeez.
this is what Dini rolls up to right here. Get in his zone, get in his pocket.
Set the tone, man.
Brought to you by Sincere the Rap Snob. He makes beats.
Holla at me.
All fire.
If you're a rapper and you need some production, holla at your boy. Some of y'all blue check rappers out here who like similar beats, but y'all want to front. Sincere's right here. Tap in.
Yes, sir.
Leroy Green, we ain't forget about you. I know we keep saying it, but curating projects takes time, and Sincere is a very meticulous individual. So bear with him. He ain't trying to give you no bullshit. He not trying to make sure that you deliver these fire 16s over some generic ass beats, because we know there's a lot of generic 16s out here, fellas. A lot of niggas trying to pass off shit as fire bars. That's real garbage. Real
Lacking
garbage.
inspiration.
Shit, lacking inspiration. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, Punch put out a tweet the other day, right? Where he says, and I quote, "Where is the inspiration? Where are the artists? This thing is shifting. It's a dark cloud looming over the business. Who was the last artist that really spoke to you?" And this is coming off the heels of Ebro saying that labels are moving away from rap. Now we're hearing a label exec say that there's a dark cloud over the business. So that inspiration question got me to thinking, like, where is this thing going? Where's rap gonna be in a couple of years? Are we being phased out? I'm not sure. Sincere the Rap Snob, you saw this tweet. Punch is a person who we've gotten in trouble with, but he's also provided great content for us at the Rap Roundtable.
Yeah.
What do you think about his perspective on this, and what do you think in general?
Yeah, no, I agree with him 100%. As soon as I saw the tweet, I don't hand out retweets on Twitter lightly. You know what I mean?
There
But
you
as soon as I seen this tweet, I retweeted it immediately because like it spoke to me.
Are you okay with being tagged?
Huh? I mean, my entity is.
Oh, okay. All right.
You gotta
Open
protect your
to-
entity, man.
Whoever's on Twitter that follows me, I'm cool with it.
You're not
You can
thirsty for
tag
clout,
me.
right? You
You
just
know
a
what I mean?
regular nigga,
only
right?
only
Tag
tag
me.
Sin. Don't tag
Bro,
nobody else.
Like I said,
Tag me.
it's not even Twitter. It's
Tag
not even
me.
just Twitter or social media. Like I've said, you see me on the streets, you recognize me,
Pull up.
come dap me up, man.
Salute.
I'm not as protective of my entity as
Word.
a lot of other people.
No
out there,
silk
but
scarves on your head?
Silky milky.
My hoodies are solid, bro. They're not
Talking
silky,
about it.
silky hoodies.
Pause.
Hey, you. First one of the night.
Wow.
And it begins.
Let's take a sip to that.
Yes, sir. Word. Toast to the new subs, by the way.
Yeah.
Salute to y'all.
Facts,
Salute.
facts.
Facts. Hit the subs. Hit the subs.
But nah, like I said, this tweet spoke to me. I agree with it wholeheartedly. I think what's going on right now might be just a side effect of the internet age, and I think we've spoken about it before. But we'll get into it again and break it down a little bit more. I feel like artists when they would be inspired, they gain inspiration and they develop ideas during downtime or during episodes of boredom, or I ain't got nothing to do, I'm just sitting here, and then all of a sudden an idea pops in your head. And then before the internet, when you had an idea pop in your head like that, you didn't have all these distractions that were taking you away from those ideas. So those ideas were able to like blossom. You were able to develop them. You were able to have this thought connect with that other thought, and that third thought that you had, a few days ago, a week ago, or whatever, and those thoughts would connect. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's like if you're sitting there and you find yourself bored, you reach for your phone. You know what I mean? I got a text message, or I got to text somebody. I got to check IG. I got to post the selfie on IG. Right. You know what I mean? Or you go on Twitter and you're like, let me check to see what people are saying about me on Twitter. Whatever it is, like artists are like there's so much distraction for artists these days that is, I think, keeping them from really sort of just sitting down and having ideas develop naturally and organically. You know what I mean? And I think some artists, maybe they just need to unplug a little bit, right? I don't think I don't think it's a coincidence that two of the biggest artists in rap today, still today, that are putting out more inspired content are Cole and Kendrick. These are two artists that are notoriously shy. They notoriously shy away from social media and from the limelight and everything like that. And you hear it in their music. You know what I mean? They have things to talk about. They have thoughts and ideas that they've developed and concepts that they've put together. Whether or not you end up liking the music is one, that's a different discussion. But the ideas are there. The concepts are there. Some artists need to unplug. Some artists need to go back to just, sit with yourself. Let the ideas come to you. Let those ideas grow organically, and maybe we'll have a little bit more inspiration out there. But living on the internet all the time, all you're doing is seeing what they're doing, seeing what they're doing over there, and it just ends up homogenizing everything. So.
Okay. Mesito.
That was a good perspective, Sin. I feel a little bit conflicted about Punch's statement here, because me personally, I would agree, right? There's not a lot of artists that have spoken to me in the last decade or so. There's not a lot of music that I feel like lasts and that's impactful past, the 2-week hype that most albums get these days. And I say that, music these days, it does lack a certain soul, right? It does lack a certain social commentary. And when I say social commentary, I don't mean, Black Lives Matter raps. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sin made a good point when we had the Ice Cube Biggie conversation. Social introspection could be just the story of your neighborhood, the story of your block, in a super, 360 way of telling it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, if you ask a younger person if Triple X spoke to them, they would say yeah. They would, if they asked them about Juice WRLD, they would say yeah. You know what I'm saying? Jav made a point the other day about what G Herbo means to a lot of the hood. You know what I mean? That's something that a certain age group wouldn't know. You wouldn't think that. You know what I mean? So I think that at the end of the day, like, nah, for what we are looking for what our tastes are, nah, there's not a lot of shit out there that really impacted us. But I think music is always gonna impact the youth. You know what I mean? They always gonna find those artists that really speak to their lifestyle and what they do. You know what I mean? So I think it's a double-edged sword, to be honest. I don't mean to steal your swag, man. My bad.
Deanie, what do you think about the situation with Punch? I got a take, but I want to hear from the table.
I don't know. I think if I was an artist listening to what Punch said, I'll feel like shit. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, because he didn't say which person inspired you last. You know what I'm saying? Who's the last person? Like, no one's rapping currently. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, maybe people feel inspired by the guy that was fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar. Like, there's plenty of artists that inspire a lot of people. But like you said, I just think the money fucked up the game. Salute to Meek Mill for saying we get paid more when we talk about bullshit. That fucked up the game. And the overall listener fucked up the game. Like, as much as I want to shit on niggas for this and that and the third, like, how many niggas actually go out and buy the hard copy of the album? How many niggas actually go out and buy the...
They have those?
Hard copy, even if online. I bought the last, the KD3.
Oh, you mean like actually spend the
$10 and cop, you know what I'm saying? Essentially now it's...
Good point.
They're making music to appease niggas that ain't really buying the shit, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of get it. Like, that's why I spent the money, because I'm like, if I want this kind of shit, I got to spend the money for it, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the young folks want that kind of shit. They want that transient, I don't got to think too hard, just put me in a good zone music. And that's what you're getting, because that's what the people want. The customer will always lead. Like, when we go to these shows a lot of times, do we see a lot of 45-year-olds, a lot of 40-year-olds, a lot of 35-year-olds a lot of times at these shows represent these old artists? A lot of times we don't. They're usually a younger demographic. So even the old heads gotta come out and support. It's not just a blame the artist thing. It's a combination. You know what I'm saying? Between
I'm gonna get that drop.
between the listener and between the artist. You know what I'm saying? Because there are guys that still making inspiring shit. Nas is making great music. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole Griselda shit. They're making great music. They're rapping. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people rapping. Shout out to the niggas that's like, shout out to the Joey Badasses. You know what I'm saying? They're rapping. Right. But like, you don't hear nothing about that, bro. All we hear is, what about the Little Durks and the Baby Head? But you always, it's and I hate to do that. I hate to digress to the Nas and Jay thing, but you always minimalize what the other demographic is doing because of the other demographic. You get what I'm saying? Why can't we just appreciate Nas is doing what he's doing? Why can't we appreciate what the young guys are doing? It might not, but it's not for us in that sense. You get what I'm saying? So Punch is a little older. He's our age around, so he not looking for what they're giving right now. So I get it.
All right, so I got a couple of perspectives on Punch's tweet. I think the first situation that I take away from it is kind of what Deanie's last point was before he landed the dismount. I think what Punch is saying kind of speaks to the age divide in rap, because Punch is not 25 things. I don't know how old Punch is, but I'm willing to assume that he's somewhere around our age. Not Mase's age, but our age. You get what I'm saying? So he's been through the wars, and he's been through the culture evolution and devaluing at the same time. He's seen a little bit of everything. So from that perspective, it kind of sounds to the young person like, here go another old head saying we ain't talking about shit. Because best believe there's a bunch of young niggas that feel that way. They're not being heard or they're not being respected by the older guard.
Marginalized.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, because I feel like the young kids feel like they're talking about what's going on around them. Punch might say, when's the last time something moved you? But who was that tweet for? Is it for 21-year-old somebody listening to whoever? Or is it us who might agree with Punch based on where rap has gone? I think that tweet in itself is a bit divisive in that way. On the flip side of that is he's not wrong. A lot of rap is hollow.
Yeah.
And I blame a lot of that on streaming. Because back in our day, when you put an album out, it had to get pressed up, It was a whole process. You had your marketing budget. The CDs had to be paid. Everything had to be paid for. There was no, you know what, I could just upload this and put it out. To me, one of the pitfalls of streaming that no one talks about, they always talk about, we do too as well, about how the artists are marginalized as far as fiscally, how streaming has taken away from the art. Because if I could just boom, 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 and throw some shit out immediately, you're not sitting down and marinating it. You're not babysitting it. Only the elite can throw some shit together and it could be a classic because they're elite.
They're elite, yeah.
But too many niggas are throwing shit together to capitalize on trending on Twitter or Instagram or whatever and just putting some shit out there and it's hollow.
And I think it's similar to like back in the day when Jay would say, I don't even write my raps, and then all of a sudden everybody thought that they could get over not writing raps. Now, like, you know, Jay could put something together in like a week. A Nas could put, and a Hit Boy could put something together in a week and it'd be fire. You,
not
up
so
and coming
much.
rapper, maybe not so much. So you gotta, you gotta be honest with yourself.
You know what I mean? And then I think just the general business model of rap is starting to eat itself. Because you're relying on trending. You're relying on social media to be the vehicle for promoting music that if you're following trends, the music is gonna be trendy.
Right.
It's not gonna be lush. If you trying to get niggas to do their little TikTok routine and all of that, it's not gonna be lush. So it's gonna be a problem. But then, with that being said, I agree with Punch. But then he said, when's the last time an artist moved you? Dina, you made another point. You skated, but I'm a step right in it. I made a point a couple weeks ago that Sincere fought back against. When I said that after a 5-year hiatus, Kendrick Lamar was supposed to be the person that reset the margins in rap.
Here we go.
And then Punch puts out this tweet saying, when's the last time niggas made some shit that moved you? That was a TDE album. It must not have moved Punch. It didn't move a lot of people. So when I look at the space and I look at the number one tastemaker in the game, failing to land a dismount, I'm blaming Kendrick for a lot of what's going on in rap in 2023. I'm still there.
You think Punch had Kendrick in mind when he tweeted this?
He did not have Kendrick in mind. He didn't rule him out of the equation.
I'm pretty sure that goes without saying.
I don't know that. Punch is not one to pull punches. If he wanted to give Kendrick that blah, he would have.
That's a fact.
When is the last time an artist dropped something that moved?
But Kendrick's not even.
And that wasn't too long ago, so that should have been a year ago, right?
Doing his own thing.
A year ago, somebody should have moved you.
The artistic nigga was supposed to.
Stressing.
The artistic nigga was supposed to move niggas, and he ain't moved niggas. He want to talk about shit that niggas don't want to hear about.
He said, when's the last time? The last time's not last year, bro.
People.
I'm just saying.
Jeez.
People were moved. Y'all were moved.
That sounds like
there was people out there that was
Punch put the tweet out saying.
Who are these people?
But if he did move, like, look. So what did you want him? What did you want him to say? When like, did you want him to like give Kendrick the credit in the tweet?
Yeah.
Like,
if he was sparing him, yeah.
When's the last time someone
anybody,
outside of TDE moved you? That was a blanket statement he made.
So that could also be what Schoolboy, Ab-Soul dropped an album more recently than Kendrick. You think he might be talking about Ab-Soul too?
Did Ab-Soul need to feel away?
Reason dropped last week. How's he feel?
Wow, man.
Damn it, man.
I'm just saying.
I think it goes without saying that.
All right.
He's talking about outside his camp.
Not in his camp anymore.
All right, so let me come back to
I'm talking about Ab-Soul, Reason, whatever.
So let me come back to Masito and chat. As y'all still following, hit the like button. Remember, hit the like button. Do you think that this comes back to the whole situation of the wrong people are being positioned to be lit? Because you mentioned G Herbo,
right?
And you mentioned a few other acts. They're not positioned the same way a Gunna might be positioned, or some of these female artists who are just, put booty hole brown and pussy pink and all of that. I'm just saying, the powers that be, especially in the lyrical renaissance that we're trying to get into, we're trying to get there.
Right.
They've been working quadruple overtime to push back against that with some bullshit. Even got Sexy Red alongside Drake now on his tour. Yeah, man's.
You right.
So is it time to reposition who's who in rap?
OVO team we up. The thing is, I think the game naturally resets itself, right? DMX was able to pop through in the middle of the shiny suit era, right?
Yeah.
50 Cent popped out after he was blackballed and shot 9 times and all this, that, and the third. So I think at the end of the day, I think the game is gonna reset himself. If there's an artist who comes with this impactful music, who comes with this, earth-shattering shit, you know what I mean? Like they gonna make the impact they supposed to. Maybe the artists that deliver the message that folks are looking for aren't delivering up to par. You know what I mean? Maybe that's another Kendrick shot.
Maybe.
But that's all I'm saying is that if the shit works, it's gonna go through. You know what I mean? So
you don't think the digital age has something to do with them not being able to really break through? Everything is just getting lost in an algorithm.
I think that's an easy cop out. You know what I mean? I think we could blame the game. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to adapt. You know what I mean? So we gonna keep complaining about it. You know what I mean? Or we gonna play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Blame the game or play the game.
To a certain extent, you do have to adapt, yes. But I keep going back to like artists. When we talk about like being inspired, like what is inspiration? Inspiration is like living life and like you observe something that sparks an idea. Like what are these newer artists observing? They're observing fucking screens all the time, bro. True. Like they're observing IG all the time. That's their life. The internet, social media is their life. That's what's inspired. If they are, we could even call that inspiration. It's just not the same inspiration that we had, because we were inspired by artists out there on the front lines, living life on the corner, down south, upstate, whatever. You know what I mean? But like now, everybody's just drawing from internet culture.
But who's to say that those kids are not being moved? I'm shooting a little bail here, Dini. I'm gonna come to you with this. I saw a little video on, I believe it was X, where it was a bunch of girls.
Fuck that. I'm still calling it Twitter.
Yeah. I was being facetious with the X. Where it was at the Aubrey concert, and it was a young lady with her camera, and she filmed like 4 girls in a patch, and they all had the shades on their forehead, on their crown, basically. That was the look. And then she turned the camera back to herself, and she also had the shades on her crown. So all these people kind of look the same.
Right.
Young people are following whatever's going on, and the young people are talking to the young people who are following whatever trends. Is that not inspiration in its own way? Maybe Punch doesn't realize that youth culture is not what it used to be.
Imitation is flattery. I'm saying they are seeing something that is inspiring them. It's just maybe the way they approach it. Inspiration comes in a lot of different forms, bro. It could be in the way you carry yourself, the way you approach shit, the way you attack, like music. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure someone inspired you to put that spark in your head for you to make fire like this. You know what I'm saying? There's a litany of niggas. Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Havoc. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Q-Tip. There's a litany of niggas. Kanye who sparked you. That's what I'm like. And it wasn't the pink collar that sparked you. You know what I'm saying? It was the sound of the music. It was the lushness of the beats. That's why I feel like there's so much inspiration. Even take us, my nigga. Look how many times we done cooked up a pie when there's not really nothing to talk about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We still find inspiration to find new shit to talk about, to find invigorating shit to talk about. So an artist can find invigorating shit to talk about. And our faces are in screens, is it not? Your face is not on the screen?
Yeah. But if they try,
it's just how you
that's a point. That's a point, because when I was making this point, and I was writing down my little talking points or whatever ahead of the pod.
He said my little talking points.
No, I did think of that, because I'm nothing if I'm not self-aware. So I thought about it for a second. I'm like, yo,
overly self-aware.
My phone, my face is in the phone all the time. But like, I didn't grow up with that shit. So like, my brain neurons are wired different.
You know how to separate the two.
Exactly.
You know what? The more I talk about it, and the more we talk about it, I don't think Punch was talking to the older niggas. He wasn't talking to Nas. Nas had dropped 5, and it was fire.
Yeah.
He's not talking to Griselda. They've been dropping fire for almost a decade. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because before I knew what a Griselda was, they was already dropping fire. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure Punch in his own, after I started a little trouble with the Kendrick thing, I think that Punch is definitely looking at the new niggas. Because if we saying there's a cloud over the business, it's really up to these young niggas to carry the baton. And if everybody's making the same shit that sounds the same, it might be on these young niggas to level up the space. Mase, no?
I mean, yeah, I agree, but I also have to push back because, you know, if you ask the young niggas, they are lighting up the space. You know what I mean? Like, they went crazy over the Denzel Curry album. They went crazy over the J.I.D. album. You know what I mean? So it's like they are getting shit that they want to hear. You know what I mean? Just like I say, like, to our sensibilities, nah, we not hearing the shit that we want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't, you know, when I threw this shit on, I wasn't like, yeah, this is finally, it's back. You know, but at the end of the day, the youngins do feel the inspiration. Just like you say, they do follow the trends. They do, you know, play the music. So at the end of the day, like, I think we have to separate ourselves away from it a little bit.
Fair
you know what I mean? And maybe it's hard for Punch to do because he is the head of one of the biggest labels in rap history. You know what I mean? It might be difficult. But, you know, sometimes you gotta, you know, maybe you need a couple youngins around him. You know what I mean? Get a Baby Keem around him. You know
No, not him.
And it's not just the artists, it's the fans too, because essentially you saying, yo, the niggas that we like to listen to are trash. That's essentially what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? These little niggas go out, they go to the shows, they spend the money, they buy the merch, they spend $100 on a t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? They're outside supporting the culture in the way they do. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to knock it, you know?
You know, real quick, as for the young people, shout out to Quavo. I listened to the Quavo album on the way into the studio. Pretty good. Mad Max said it was fire. I don't wholeheartedly agree with Max as far as it being fire.
Right.
But this is the best Quavo has sound since the Huncho Jack album, Didi.
He needed to do this right, naming it what he named it. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Take. He needed to do this right.
You know what I mean? If y'all haven't listened to that Takeoff, that Quavo album, Rocket Power, all I'm saying is, if you're about 34-ish and under, listen. Anybody else who watched the Rap Roundtable, don't listen to the Quavo.
I got a little cook up about that in Young Rap later. We gonna speak on it.
Oh, you speak on that? You know, say that.
You
You know what I mean? I just wanted to give Matt Max his flowers because the album was pretty good.
Salute,
you know what I mean?
Shout out to Max.
So, next topic. A gentleman by the name of 365 OTG on Twitter says, if you could only take 5 Nas albums, what would they be? He proceeds to list all of the Nas albums in order. We're not going to read them off. The Nas fans who watch the show know all the Nas albums ad nauseam. I expect y'all to know what this is about. So, the Rap Roundtable said, oh, this is interesting. Maybe we should pick our top 5 Nas albums.
Right.
Maybe we should ask the chat in the comment section to pick their top 5 Nas albums and minus the recency bias, because, you know, we all suffer from recency bias. The new shit is always the best shit. So take a second, chat and comment section, think about it, then give us your 5.
Facts.
So I'm gonna start it off with to say the Rap Snob is always right. When it comes to Nas and anything related to Nas, as much as I say he's a fake Nas fan, although recently y'all stopped saying that bullshit, and I'm proud of y'all for saying that.
They did.
To say the Rap Snob, we come to you first. If you had to pick 5, and I know this is difficult for you to do, what would they be?
Holy shit. I thought about this for a second. Honestly, the top 3 was a breeze. Like,
okay.
I didn't have to think about.
I know 2, but what's the third?
3 for too long. Illmatic.
Okay.
Because it's not only the best Nas album,
Quintessential.
just best album of all time.
That's guaranteed.
If not, it's top 3 all time. It was written, obviously.
Easily.
Yes.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And then number 3, I'm going with the Lost Tapes.
Okay.
I'm going with the Lost Tapes. I honestly think the Lost Tapes is Lost Tapes is remarkable to me because anytime that anybody takes cutting room floor stuff and just throws it together, like even if the material is dope, it doesn't necessarily sound or feel cohesive. You know what I mean? And so you take it for what it's worth. You're like, oh shit, like these are some dope tracks. Maybe not everything is hot fire, but like, you know what I mean? It's dope enough to where you appreciate it. But then you're like, but you know, you got this song from this one era and this song from this other era. They don't really like, you know, mesh that well sonically. But somehow Nas was able to take cutting room floor material and make a fucking classic out of it. What are you coughing about?
No,
That was a legitimate one, brother.
I almost
Shit
died.
was ready to press you over Lost tapes, bro. Like,
Yeah, just saw me take a
the
sip.
fuck
Relax.
is you
Oh,
coughing
shit.
about?
The lawn almost started early.
We almost went off
we got
air,
a lot of
bro.
history, y'all. We got a lot of history. I'm
Oh,
waiting.
shit.
I'm waiting.
Nah, I'm chilling. I'm
For this man to
really,
react.
I'm chilling.
Watch that Lost tape.
I'm not
shit,
starting shit
dog.
until the mailbag segment. Proceed.
Nah, the Lost Tapes is like a classic. It's flawless. It is a brilliant piece of work out of stuff that was not supposed to go together, but it still went together. All the songs are amazing to me. Now, the last two of the top 5, I debated a little bit.
That's what gets dicey.
It does. I'm gonna have to go with Stillmatic. It's Stillmatic is not in my top 3. A lot of y'all might be mad about that. Mase might be mad about that too.
You know it.
But because I felt that Stillmatic was a little slightly uneven, just slightly, just slightly. You know what I mean? But still in all, like even with the unevenness of it, You're the Man, obviously Ether. There's a lot of classic joints on Stillmatic, and it was just such a moment in time, coming right after the Blueprint, having the Response to take over, it coming after Nostradamus and solidifying Nas's comeback in the game. I gotta put that up there.
Okay.
And then number 5. I could have gone Godson.
Mm-hmm.
I could have gone Life is Good.
Could have.
Gone Magic. But I went King's Disease 3.
Wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
Wow,
Whoa.
bro. That's
When I
crazy,
tell
bro.
you, and I've had some time to think about this. This isn't recency bias. It came out like a year ago.
Yeah, fair play.
You know what I mean?
Less than a year, but carry
Now,
on.
now Life is Good. I almost put Life is Good there, but then I really thought about it, and I was like, yo, King's Disease 3. It's such a ride. You know what I mean? It's like, again, like every time that I talk about it in the same way. When Nas and Hit Boy put their foot on the gas pedal, they do not let up for like the whole album. It's not until it's a roller coaster. You know what I mean? You go take up that first incline, and then like once you go down, it's a whole ride up until it pulls back into the gate. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about King's Disease 3. I could throw it on, and it's just gonna take me on this journey. It's not gonna let up on the energy. And yeah, I'm right now. It's in my top 5 Nas. And that could change. Look, listen, honestly, that could change in a month, in 2 months, in 5 months. You know what I mean? But right now, as we speak, that rounds up my top 5.
Okay, I'm not mad at that 5, Sin. There's probably gonna be people who are mad at that 5, but it's nothing like arguing about Nas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a win-win argument. You don't really lose in this scenario. I'm gonna go second and give my 5. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe I could be wrong, Dini, Mason, but I think the 2 albums that's universal on everybody's list should be the first 2.
Right.
Illmatic, It Was Written. Hands down. Dini and I have championed It Was Written for years. We love that album.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Illmatic is the standard to this day. It's the rap standard album.
Bible.
You know what I mean? When albums come out, is it better than Illmatic?
Right.
Is Illmatic still
Is it
the
on
best
par?
album of all time? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Then we get into the next 3 spots. Top 5, they say.
Right.
I'm close to Sin when it comes to the Lost Tapes. I want to say the Lost, because I just remember how in the midst of that run, coming out of the battle with Hov, that run that Nas was on, like he really, one thing Nas doesn't get credit for is when he's on fire, how he capitalizes.
Facts.
Coming out of the whole shit, what he did with the music, capitalized. The Hit Boy era right now, capitalized. When he was the man early on in the game, Illmatic, It Was Written, the feature run he had during that time. Anytime Nas is hot, he don't miss.
I ain't gonna
But-
lie, you right.
But I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna go with Godson. Cause I'll admit I was salty coming out of Stillmatic. Very salty. We know why. Ether happened. I was at the peak of my Jay-Z fandom, 20 years oldish, somewhere in that vicinity. And I'm like, yo, fuck this guy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the more I wanted to hate, the music was there. And it's like, fuck, this nigga keep making good shit. and I never, before the whole Hove shit, I love Nas. I chose a side during the battle. But then it's like these albums keep rolling out. He's on the Clue tapes. He's doing the freestyles. The bars are there. The beat selection was decent at that time. I'm like, all right, Nas, you got it. I can't tell nobody. You know what I mean? Godson is in my top 5 because it represents the era. It represents the, quote, victory lap he took after beating Jay. The album landed. The album covers fire. And at that time, he kind of was like scoffing at the idea of Jay-Z calling himself Hove and really repositioning the deities of hip-hop. So to call himself God's son, I thought that was fire. The whole fan in me wanted to say, you trying to say that you Jay-Z's son. I was really a hater, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that the album title, the cover, the music, the beat selection, it got it. The next one for me, definitely King's Disease 3. I'm gonna sin on that one. That album, to me, that's the best of the Hit Boy era. Y'all could debate it. Y'all could say KD 2. Y'all could say Magic. I know a lot of people are trying to say it's Magic 2. Nothing is fucking with KD 3. I don't give a fuck what you say. That album has everything you want as far as when Punch is talking about when's the last time an artist made you feel something. It's KD 3 for me.
Yeah. Fire.
The roller coaster that Sin always talks about, the subject matter, the beat selection, the pacing. The album comes out the gate like crazy. Then it slows down. Then it picks back up. Then it gets serious. He has a little bit more fun. Gets even more serious at the end. He delivered a masterpiece, in my opinion. 5 mics for KD3. Like, that's the standard. To me, I'll put it on wax. Nas is going to have a difficult time matching KD3 as he continues to work with Hit Boy.
Yeah.
That's number 4. Number 5. I remember Fake being hyped for Life is Good. I didn't love Life is Good as much as most of the Nas fans, but I think it's because I'm not a Nas fan that maybe I didn't fuck with it the same way.
It has some joints.
Yeah. It was a lot of hype going into Life is Good.
Yeah, it was.
But I gotta lean on nostalgia. Stillmatic.
Here we go.
Only because if you're not from New York, y'all can say what y'all want to say about Stillmatic and the battle, have your opinions. I'll never argue with you. But being in the city, being in the middle of a rap war, and the albums are still coming out, and an album is getting 5 mics in the source, and people was arguing. We were really arguing about it only got 5 mics because of the battle. Like, there was so many different narratives surrounding the Blueprint and Stillmatic around that time. Blueprint 2 Blueprint 2 being a fail because it couldn't live up to what Stillmatic might have done, you know what I'm saying? And what Blueprint did do, what the diss records did do. Stillmatic was literally in the middle of the biggest battle in rap history.
Yeah.
And it delivered.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get, just for merely nostalgic purposes, knowing what it did to the city, knowing what it did to the lunch tables, what it did to the barbershops, what it did to me and Sincere the Rap Snob 20 years ago.
Revitalized Nas' career.
Nigga, Stillmatic is in my 5. Dini the Balance, your 5.
All right, let's make something happen here, y'all.
Okay.
All right.
Dini 5 is gonna be interesting. I already know.
At number 1, Jarvis, you know the vibes. It was written.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
my
man.
grill. Like,
Come on.
salute to Nas, man. That was probably the first.
If he was 12 years old in 96, it
Bruh.
was written. It was really it.
I jumped off the stoop, man. I was feeling crazy. He mentioned Vanity in the rec. You know, I was in love with Vanity as a kid. Candy B, Vanity from Last Dragon, one of my favorite movie all time. Like, I felt like Nas was talking to me in the message, bro, and that really sparked everything for me. And then it just went on to be just great music. Yeah, Mobb Deep on there. You know what I'm saying? Like 98% of the songs on It Was Written are flawless. You can pick out a song or two.
The New York ease of It Was Written. It was so New York.
It was so cinematic, bro. Like you feel like you was watching a movie listening to this shit. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Illmatic, man. You can't argue with greatness. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Right.
It did what it did. It's still doing what it's doing. Can't argue that. Number 3, I'm going with Stillmatic, man. Maybe one of the greatest resurgences we've ever seen in hip hop. Like a lot of niggas thought Nas was smoked, bro. Like completely smoked. You know what I'm saying? He was dealing with family issues.
Could you imagine if the internet was around during that era?
Bro.
I think Nas would have had a harder time coming back during the internet era than he did back then.
And plus niggas can act, you know, you actually see the opinions of people. It's one thing to just talk to people in person, but now you're seeing everyone's opinion. It's a different energy. But I just remember, man, like we thought he had it sewn up. We was like, he didn't respond to Hov. It's been what? It's been now what? August, September, October, November, and December. Shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But legendary moments, legendary album. I'm going with number 4. I'm going with Godson, man.
Okay.
I mean, some of the greatest stories of all time lay on that album, bro. One of the maybe one of the hardest. It wasn't even a diss per se,
Right.
but I felt this listening to that shit. Like he was piecing niggas up, like telling his
That's
life
why
story.
when I say I couldn't tell niggas I was fucking with it, because I still get salty listening to that shit. Jay tried to sneak attack.
Yeah.
Fuck. I get mad every
about
time I
Biggie.
hear that bar.
Talked about Puff.
Yeah,
Champagne
Fire.
bottles on Steve. Nigga really
Fire.
broke it down.
He really did break it
And,
down. That's one of his greatest songs.
That's what makes that battle the greatest battle of all time, bro. Like
I'm
that's
gonna probably get a
that's
lot of
shit
smoke
like
for
that.
my next pick.
What's that?
I'm going with I Am.
Ah.
Now,
Interesting.
Wow, bro.
the reason I'm
That's
going
crazy,
with I
bro.
Am. Think of a movie you love, right?
That's crazy.
Is it the greatest movie you've never seen?
That
No.
drop really moves me, by the way.
No.
I bet it does.
But some of the most iconic moments in movie history occurred in that film. That's the way I feel about I Am.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got favor for a favor. You know what I'm saying? For all those talk about, y'all be showing no love to the South. Got a South brother on the track. Shout out to the joint with DMX. Now, granted, a lot of niggas want to talk about Dr. Knockwood on that, but do not forget, bro, you got New York State of Mind 2 on that.
Right.
You got Hate Me Now on that. You got You Won't See Me Tonight. Still was a fire record. It gets hate.
Is what you're
It got some joints. Nas's Like is on this joint, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Can
Money
we
is my
agree that
bitch.
Nas is like is an all-time Nas
It's
record?
one of the
Of
greatest
course.
Nas records of all time, bro.
Easily.
And then arguably to me, Nas's greatest story, which is Undying Love, is on this album, bro. Like the highs are high, bro. We look at the lows. We look at KISSING.
We speak for yourself. I like that.
I think that song is fire, but a lot of
Sincere.
people. Okay, you know what I'm saying? People
me
hear
and
small
Sincere.
world,
Yes.
people hear
I'm
big
on
things.
board with
that.
Pause.
Thank
You know what I'm
you.
saying? We Will Survive. People hear those records and try to hold it against them, but like I said, the powerful moments of this album are undeniable.
come
bro.
down the
No,
court,
no,
y'all.
well,
Undeniable.
Can we just talk for a second about the newfound hate for We Will Survive? Because I don't understand. I don't get it. I feel
Niggas don't like that record?
people don't like
There's a few
that
records on this
I
album.
like
People
that
hate,
record,
bro.
I feel like since the first moment I heard it on a mixtape, I was like, yo, Nas is on his A game. He's breaking this shit down crazy. He flowing to the beat crazy. He in pocket crazy.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a fire ass song to me. 20 plus years later, come to find out, I go on Twitter, all of a sudden, yo, We Will Survive was so like sappy and it was trash and that beat and that. I'm like, what
Niggas
are
just
y'all
be saying shit on the
talking
internet.
about?
Yeah.
But there's a good segment of people that really do not like that song.
I mean,
kinda
there's
crazy.
iconic
Crazy
Nas
to me.
records on this joint, bro. If Nas had the greatest hits, that he just said, I'm gonna put together the greatest hits of all my shits right now. At least 3 or 4 songs from this album is gonna be on that. So it is what it is. That's why I pick it.
I am.
That's my
interesting. Okay.
Masito, before I tell you to
I
go,
want to see somebody put Nostradamus on the top.
We're not,
five.
no one's
That would
crazy.
be-
No one's crazy.
what we gonna see? Not Mate's about to go next.
He ain't drunk
But
enough.
before we get to
never know.
Masito, before we get to his 5, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and when you're done with this episode, roundtablemerch.com.
Yes,
Get you
man.
one of these.
So no love for Nasir yet?
Come on,
Oh,
man.
Besito, voice of
Fill
young
up that cup.
people.
Take the cup away. He's drunk.
Top
Back-
5
back-
Nas
You like
albums.
Lost Safe Suit though.
Backseat of the Range Rover bars, Nasir.
Shit.
Not here.
Shit. What does your 5 look like for the young people?
Yeah, for the young folks. I'm gonna go in order like Dean went. I don't know if y'all two went or not. I'm gonna go in order like Dean. Number 1 is Illmatic. That's an easy number 1, bro. Like, I didn't grow up with Illmatic. I remember the first time I heard it though. Summer 2003. My pops took me Virgin Megastore. We copped the first Joel Santana album, From Me to You, and we copped Illmatic.
Shout out to Pop.
I don't know if I ever played that Joel's album, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't think so, man.
You had some
Illmatic.
joints, man.
Just like J. Cole said, Pac was Jesus, Nas wrote the Bible. Like, Illmatic, everything after it, it's the shit that made, as much as we love them, it's the shit that made the Rakims and the Kanes and the Cool G's obsolete and brought on the next generation. You know what I mean? It's literally, you know,
The word obsolete is a little harsh.
I mean,
Upgrades.
listen, man, we've been harsher. But come on, Illmatic, man, like one of the few albums that you can make a GOAT candidacy for in any genre and it's gonna work. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go against that. Number 2 for me is Stillmatic. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, this is the album for me that started my Nas fandom. You know what I mean? Back then, I couldn't tell the difference. I witnessed. I probably played Stillmatic more than Blueprint. You know what I mean? Over a lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, man, like, come on. From the intro, Stillmatic intro, Blood of a Slave, Heart of a King, bro. Like, just rewind, you feel Undying Love, I feel Rewind.
He there.
Yeah.
Nas is a different type of nigga, bro.
Come on, man. Come on.
Different.
You feel Undying Love. To me, that's the greatest story ever. Rewind. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah, hands down.
Second childhood.
Hands down.
Second Childhood's amazing too.
what goes
Rewind,
around?
the nigga did this shit backwards.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
The vibe
What
goes
goes
back
around
in the
comes
glass.
around.
Yeah.
What goes around comes around. Ike with the Iverson jersey, man. This is classic shit.
Chinaman built the
Got
railroad.
yourself a gun, ether, man. Come on, dog.
Yeah, it's a lot
like,
of
And got yourself, it's a diss record. Let's
It
call
is.
it what it is.
One
Bro.
mic. It's a lot of heat on there.
soldiers of the same struggle. You heard me? Like, he even brought AZ back on this shit, bro. Come on, man. Stillmatic, just, to me, a perfect album. People can't, I understand. It was shocking to me to become grown and realize that people felt like Stillmatic was like more 4.5 than 5. You know what I mean? But it's never gonna change for me, bro. Stillmatic.
Mike G.
Shout out to Mary J for falling out against the beef.
Y'all really tripping with that.
I don't want none of that smoke.
Y'all really bugging for that, man. Number 3 for me is Magic, bro. Like, to me, the atom bomb of the game in the last 5 years, man. Like,
Fire.
I understand, like, I get the KD3 love, man. I understand, but to me, nothing hit
Because
like
he
Magic.
followed Magic with KD3, bro.
Right.
Crazy.
But to me, like, y'all remember that night Magic drop, man?
Short and
Niggas
sweet.
ain't even know it was gonna drop. It just was like,
30
the way the
minutes,
shit hit, man, like, I can still listen to it today, like, the first day
Fire.
it dropped, man.
No
like,
lie, man.
Magic. I really love that album, man. Like, another 5 mic for me. Number 4 for me is Godson. Just like you say, Joe, this was like almost like a victory lap album for Nas, you know what I'm saying? But and a lot of people, to me, like, underscore how great the album is. But when you talk about, to me, Made You Look is Nas' best single ever. You know what I'm saying? Everything motherfuckers love about Dear Mama, Dance, you know what I mean? Speaking about his moms, bro. That song has moved me to tears, bro. For those that lost a parent, that song, like, you hold a lot for that, man. Like, Get Down, bro. Come on, man. The James Brown and Nas, bro.
Lace the Spliff had to punch him.
Come on, man. Like, I felt like I was out on the West Coast with
Nas
him.
don't pick good beats. The beats he picked between Stillmatic, Godson, I don't know if that narrative makes a lot of sense.
Come on. I Can is an iconic record. That's not nothing we gonna listen to, but If you got kids, you know you done heard I Can at that graduation, bro.
Record,
Like
facts.
a real, he did exactly what he wanted to do with that record. That's a timeless record for each generation of kids that comes up. When they learn about that song, they love that shit. I've met people that aren't rap fans that have said I Can is my favorite rap song ever, bro. Like Doug's Mansion, y'all might not like it, but that's one of the few good posthumous Pac records, bro. That like with the different beats. Like, come on, that's an incredible record. I just feel like Last Real Nigga Alive, you mentioned it. There's so many records on here that's incredible, bro.
The name of the song, Last Real Nigga Alive.
Come on, man. Put some respect on Godson, man. Like, really incredible album. And number 5 for me, come on, it was written, y'all. Like,
Hands down.
come on now. Like, 96, the fact that Prodigy was rapping the way he was, the fact that Reasonable Doubt, the local celebrity rapper, was rapping the way he did, Pac dropped 2 classics, and Nas was rapping better than all of them, bro, on It Was Written. Come on now, like, it was written like maybe the highest level of rap we've ever heard, man. Like, if you want to talk about it on a New York perspective, you know what I mean? So, to me, that's my 5, man.
I think that's probably why that time is really my favorite time to rap. Because even when they weren't dissing each other, they were trying to outdo each other. Like, Nas versus Jay-Z went deeper than the diss songs or the subs on adjacent songs. Like it's a joint, Don't You Knows and the People Talking, those little subtle shits. But like, you could tell that these guys were trying. That's why I feel like they were able to make amends to a degree, because it was not real beef in the sense of street beef. It was rap competition. I'm trying to outdo this guy, and they were trying to out-rap the other guy. And I love that, because Jay has never sounded better. You could say maybe Nas has sounded better, but Jay never sounded better than he did.
That's my favorite era of Nas.
When he was chasing Nas. Go ahead, Sin.
And this is a point I wanted to make earlier in the punch segment. Like, one of the things that I miss so much is where I don't feel it from the younger artists is that level of competition, or that level of just like, I don't know, it's gonna come off crazy, but like caring about the craft. Like, and the thing is that I feel like this younger generation, it's an unbothered type of, like, it's unbothered culture. It's like, it's not that serious. I'm just gonna do like whatever.
Too
I'm
cool
gonna get
for school
over
shit.
Right. It's that unbothered energy and that unbothered culture that bothers me. Whereas in 96 and in our era, like, it was anything but unbothered. It was like, no, like, I'm gonna take this shit seriously. If he's rapping that nice, I'm gonna be nicer than that guy.
Yes.
I'm going to outdo that guy. Right? And, you know, that energy's just not here because, you know what I mean? Everybody's too unbothered to care about it.
Fair play. People, y'all have heard our 5s. I look forward to seeing your 5s in the chat, in the comment section. Let us know. Let's see how comparable they are. I like how everybody's 5s represents them as individuals at the Rap Roundtable, and I'm pretty sure that your 5s will represent you as an individual as well. But the show has to go on.
Yes, sir.
So, we was spending a lot of time talking about Hip Hop 50.
Right.
We've talked about the aftermath of Hip Hop 50. We've mentioned that maybe other cities should have done Hip Hop 50 things. We were then made aware that other cities did in fact do Hip Hop 50 things, and that Uncle Luke just decided to single out New York when other cities did it as well. We thought it was done after that. We did the lunch hour. We talked about it. We thought it was done. We're looking at what the rest of Hip Hop 50, the year of 2023, will be for the culture. Then Sincere Rap Snob decides to invade the group chat with a couple of tweets that got us thinking about Hip Hop 50 once again.
Right.
Chuck D says, Hip Hop 51, Dodger Stadium, anyone? So, from that tweet, I'll take it a step further and I'll say, should the hip hop, quote unquote, number, year, or whatever be a thing going forward, like a hip hop Super Bowl concert? Kind of like what Hip Hop 50 was. It was kind of like a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
It was a who's who. Should that be a year-to-year event where each of Hip Hop 51, Hip Hop 52, Hip Hop 53, should we, in fact, start treating it that way with a mega concert year-to-year, Sid?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if we should number it for every year. I mean, you could, but
I like the idea of the number.
I would that. Yeah.
Annual hip hop event.
Yeah, I don't know. I would do
Hip-hop
without
2024, I don't know.
Right. But I think it's a good idea. I think with all this talk about, we just talked about the Ebro thing. We always talk about the attention sort of diverging away from hip hop. We need to remind people what hip hop has done.
Mm-hmm.
We need to remind people of the brilliance in hip hop. We need to remind people of how many lives hip hop has saved, how many careers it's launched, how many businesses it's responsible for. You know what I mean? And so I think if there is a feeling that, and I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, I'm just saying if there is a feeling out there that the younger generation is not really carrying on the torch the way that they might like, then let's do this yearly hip hop event where, the legacy acts, the legends, they come out and they remind everybody of what this shit is really about. You know what I mean? I'm here for it.
To blend generations, you think?
Yeah, that too. I mean, we had A Boogie with the Hoodie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, at Yankee Stadium, and he did his thing. You know what I mean? And invite the younger acts out and have a little bit of unity within the generations. You know what I mean? That'd be dope too.
What do you think, Danny?
That would be amazing. Like Sin pretty much summed it up. I mean, look at it as an industry. You know what I'm saying? How many things it's touched and created. Like outside of just people rapping, I'm talking about there's business aspects, there's fashion aspects, there's cultural aspects. It just in and of itself, it's a cash cow, and it's a lifestyle that people really live. Like we really go home with this shit, bro. It's not like we don't just take off the rap roundtable hats and we walk out and we just some, you know what I'm saying? This shit is culture. This should follow us. We built into this shit, so it should be something to celebrate it, man. I know people tend to look at the negative side of this shit, but this shit has really been a boon in a lot of ways to a lot of people, man. Look at the way you bopping your head right now. That's the feeling it's giving you. Only the music could do that, man. Only the culture could do that. So yeah, hip hop 24, hip hop 25. I'll pay to pop out. I'll pull up. I'll spend the money. Dodger Stadium. I think it'll be beautiful. It'll generate money. Maybe that money could go to something.
A hip hop rap roundtable road trip to LA.
Why not?
Hell yeah.
Why not, bro?
I'm here for that.
Masito.
Speak for yourself, Denny. I take off this hat and put on my Argyle sweater, you know what I mean? Get to listening to my shit, some Tom Jones, you feel me?
It's not unusual.
I'm kidding, y'all.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
You know what I mean? Throw in the MGK, the punk version.
Carlton guys.
Absolutely. I if you're not in favor of this, you know what I mean? You must be some sort of you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, if Coachella could do it, matter of fact, y'all know when Coachella come out, when Afro Punk come out, when Rolling Loud comes out, what you do? You look for the rap names, right? Mm-hmm. Let me see what rappers are on here.
Facts.
So why wouldn't we want to do this as a culture where we do this every year and it becomes a thing? You know what I'm saying? We give Double XL the freshman cover every year. We wait for the Super Bowl to, maybe put a rapper up there. Let's do some shit every year. You know what I mean? I remember VH1 used to do them hip hop honors. That shit ended quick. You know what I mean? So yeah, we should have some shit every year that we as a culture can look forward to. You know what I mean? I'll see you at next year. You know what I mean? Hip Hop 53. You know what I mean? I wonder who's gonna make the set list this year. You know what I mean?
Give niggas they flowers, kind of like how they gave A Boogie that joint on the stage.
Give niggas they flowers. Bring out the youngins. The worlds can clash, you know what I mean? It's gonna be all about hip hop. You bring the podcasters out, let them do their live shit, you know what I mean? We happen to have a podcast, we're available, you know what I mean? But you bring out everything. You bring out, the B-boys, you bring out the DJs, you make it a whole thing, man.
Set.
Absolutely. I'm 100% in favor of doing something like this.
I mean, I think I'm in lockstep with the panel. This should be a thing. Shit, I remember when we did the live, we was like, Hip Hop 50 should have been the whole weekend. It should have been Hip Hop 50 New York, right. Hip Hop 50 Atlanta Saturday, Hip Hop 50 LA Sunday. Right.
People would have popped out.
So seeing Chuck D tweet this out at Dodger Stadium, because I was saying Staples Center. Mm-hmm. Dodger Stadium, that's if it ain't SoFi in LA, it's Dodger Stadium as far as scale, maybe the Coliseum, but the whole objective is the size of the venue. Right. Why not? Dodger Stadium is basically Yankee Stadium adjacent as far as coastal monumental stadium. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? It only makes sense. I think going forward in hip hop, having a Super Bowl-esque show for the culture, 8 hours, various acts, much like how we had Hip Hop 50 in New York. We brought out all the New York legends and they had a set. Everybody who was an LA legend,
Fire.
bring them out.
Why not?
From the 80s all the way through.
Fire.
Bring them. Of course, you still have your New York acts who will come in there and perform, your Atlanta acts, your Ohio, your Chicago, your Detroit acts. But I believe that every year, because let's talk about business. Anytime you take a big event and you bring it to a city, it stimulates the city.
Right.
The Super Bowl, when it comes through, or whatever city it's at, it does great business. If you're a wrestling fan and WrestleMania comes, it does big business. That weekend, 80,000 people, motherfuckers is flying in from wherever they flying in from. Hotel revenue goes up. Fast food revenue goes up. The mom and pop's business revenue goes up. The niggas selling t-shirts on the side of the building.
Yeah.
Everything goes up. So the idea that hip hop can do a concert like that represents every generation. It kills the generational divide. Does good business, does numbers. You gonna do some fucking, got the Hip Hop 50, did some proceeds to different kind of charities and shit like that. New eyeballs in the culture, because each year you do it, it becomes an event, which means that the media covers it. Mm-hmm. So it kind of puts hip hop in a different light, as opposed to just being some negative shit.
And you know what's happening annually. That's the game.
That would be so dope, man.
And the Yankee Stadium shit happened. We pulled up. That shit was a fucking zoo outside of Yankee Stadium.
Different.
Yet and still, the night concluded. Not a single occurrence. No crime.
Only
no
crime.
Negative stories.
Only crime
nothing.
is what I paid for that t-shirt, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck that. The crime was a t-shirt that he's wearing right now. That true story. That t-shirt, me and Dini got the same t-shirt. And within 3 minutes, I swear to God. Dini asked the nigga how much that shirt cost. Nigga said 20. Dini paid 20. We walked towards the side of the stadium. I seen the woman selling the same t-shirt. I said, yo, how much that t-shirt cost? She said $10. It was the same t-shirt.
In the course of like 30 seconds, bro.
Full-time Jack move.
Frustration.
Hey,
Soup.
but think about it. It stimulates the economy across the board. I'm here for it. Shit, I was more mad that I paid $24 for some chicken tenders and French fries, nigga, and some Sprite. $24.
Man.
But nevertheless, local businesses, everybody wins. I'm here for it. A hip hop Super Bowl every summer on August 11th every year, a concert, or the weekend adjacent to or near. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Why haven't we done this yet?
Come on.
Don't tell me you ain't got
Seems
the money.
obvious, right?
And the way I see it, Master Pill wins, because if Nas said he's gonna do it every year, right? Master Pill wins, and let's take it a step further. If they keep doing this hip hop Super Bowl, you know Rock Nation gonna want to get involved.
You dig?
There's only but so many times we can have that Super Bowl and Hov gonna be on the sidelines. Just saying.
Money talk.
Y'all don't want to hear about Hov. What we gonna talk about?
Culture talk.
The next tweet that came out about Hip Hop 50 was from Jermaine Dupri. He says, just for the record, no brands have done any dinners or get-togethers in Atlanta celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That's crazy.
Wild.
So again, I feel like this is adjacent shade to New York, but I don't think he meant that, but it just goes to show that as much as you try to push New York out the way, when it was time for Hip Hop 50, it was up north.
He showed
Consider
up.
Rap Snob, you saw this tweet. You're the person who shared this tweet in the chat. What are your thoughts?
Bro, like we said, man, y'all complaining about what we doing up here. Y'all not doing what y'all supposed to be doing down there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And you're Jermaine Dupri.
They did do a concert. To be
All right.
fair.
He and that was on JD. So
Cool.
JD did a concert?
Yeah.
It was JD's concert.
Yeah.
Oh, copy. Okay, I see. I didn't know all that. But
Me neither, Sin. I'm about to light his ass up too, man.
But I'm just saying, man. Like, yeah, like I said when we talked about it at length. You know what I mean? We're talking about the 50th anniversary of something that originated in New York. Mm-hmm. So it's only right that the celebration happens in New York.
Facts.
And it leans more towards New York and what was going on in New York, specifically in the South Bronx at the time. So don't be mad at us, you know what I mean? Just because we did what we were supposed to do, and y'all out there ain't doing what y'all supposed to be doing.
But it ain't too late. Y'all got, I mean, there's still a few months left in here. Y'all could do that hip-hop lunch. Y'all could do that hip-hop whatever, you know what I'm saying? Why not? Why not?
Mesito.
Listen, man, I was about to light him up like Sin. I didn't know he threw his little concert or whatever. Who was there? Who was there,
At a
Dave?
little event. It was,
Who performed?
nobody extra crazy, you know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
it was a who's who from Atlanta.
It was
A lot of Atlanta legends
A
popped
lot of
out.
Atlanta legends popped out. All right, so he did that. So shouts to him for that.
Thanks.
You know, but listen, man, like it just shows. Listen, whenever something happens in LA, right? They love to be like, yo, gangbanging is a culture out here, right? You know, I know Texas, maybe being a cowboy is the culture. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But here in New York, hip hop is culture. We would not let this year pass us.
It's not just music in New York.
Nah, man. We wouldn't let this year pass us without celebrating hip hop. You know what I mean? It means more than us than just, you know, the songs we listen to. You know what I mean? The people we want to dress like. It's in our blood, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like it wasn't even a thing. We knew New York was going to celebrate Hip Hop 50. We had eyes on the rescue, and it
wasn't even a thought, I felt like.
Right. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, listen, maybe Atlanta just don't value hip hop like that. We get it. Y'all had it for the last, 10, 15, depending on you ask. But still, having it all them years, what Lil Baby didn't throw nothing, Future didn't throw nothing. Andre 3K had his flute and his Jordan 3s. You know what I'm saying?
His black cements and his overalls.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but what we seen what New York did for hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when y'all pop y'all shit, y'all see what it means to us. You know what I mean? Maybe it don't mean like that. Maybe it don't mean that to y'all. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I'll take the baton from you and I'll say, I think old Atlanta, the Atlanta that Gipper likes to talk about, they were definitely hip hop, right? I think young Atlanta and the South in general, because of the work of the older guard, looked at hip hop as a means to escape whatever it is, whether it's poverty, a rough neighborhood, whatever it is. It was an avenue for a bag. And I think as hip hop became more about the bag as opposed to the culture, especially as the South, fair is fair. We gotta talk about it. Everybody wants to get rich, New Yorkers included.
Thanks.
But as the South took over, and we seen a lot of them talk about it in interviews, talk about it in their raps in the South, it was about escaping whatever they needed to escape and get to the bag. The disconnect from culture to fiscal gain got lost, right? I won't put that on even with his fluke. I'm not putting that on 3 Stacks, Dungeon Family. Shit, even like the T.I.s and the Jeezys. That era, early aughts, they wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get rich. Right. But I felt like as the younger niggas got in, it became more about getting rich. And I'm not mad at them because we don't know what they had to escape. Right. And what rap did for them. Because the thing is, what we need to understand is rap and hip hop are not the same thing. For me at least. To me, hip hop is the culture. What we live, what we breathe, how we dress, how we talk. Rap is the music that comes from the culture.
Right.
Some people might see it differently. Niggas, to me, it's a lot of rappers, but it's not a lot of them niggas in the new era are not hip hop. To Jermaine Dupri, he's saying people. Let me read this tweet again. He says, I want to find that. Of course, iPhone. Get it together, iPhone. Of course, it closes.
Just for the record,
You in that lawsuit, y'all?
no brands have done any dinners or get-togethers in Atlanta celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That's crazy.
So this is where I gotta get mad at Jermaine Dupri.
Cooking.
Now I understand how business works. We're in the Brooklyn podcast studio. Josh knows he has a product because we don't have Walt tonight. We have OG Josh in the building.
Yes, sir.
Oh, swap.
Jiggy Josh.
Even if Josh expects a brand to do business with him, Josh would do his due diligence to reach out and say, hey, such and such, would you like to sponsor such and such hip hop event?
Right.
The fact that Jermaine Dupri assumed that brands would want to come to Atlanta and sponsor it means that you didn't do your due diligence. even if Atlanta has controlled rap for maybe the last it's between 17 and 19 years, at its core, niggas still look at rap as a New York thing. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me.
To be honest.
It's still looked at as a New York thing, and the businesses will still venture north before they venture south. Jermaine Dupri needed to do with all the Atlanta forefathers who have the business acumen, or even the new niggas like the QCs of the world, needed to reach out to said sponsors, do your due diligence. And the fact that you did it and you put this tweet out, to me it looks more worse on you than it does on those companies. Reach out, get a sponsorship, get a Google, powered by Google, powered by fucking Arby's, powered by whatever brand is popping in Atlanta needed to be powering that Hip Hop 50 event. Reach out. Do business. Don't assume the niggas is gonna reach out because y'all had it. It's still a New York thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I'm not making this up. You look at who sponsored Hip Hop 50. You look at all the brands attached to Hip Hop 50 in New York. Don't assume that's gonna come down south. Reach out and do your due diligence.
And look, and just like we've talked about here, and Jav, posited, you know what I mean? 51, 52, 53. You know what I mean? We could go all over the map. But I don't know, like part of me, the more I think about it, the more it feels like motherfuckers is just salty that New York is getting some shine this year. You know what I mean? Like, look, at least for the 50th, let us be.
Let us live.
Let us live, bro. Let us have this. You know what I mean? Just enough.
Not to trash them, but it was Jermaine Dupri, T.I., Goody Mob, Earth Gang, Omerta the Great, Scotty ATL, and others. You know what I'm saying? So,
am I wrong for thinking, like, even if we do continue on with the hip hop Super Bowl, that we should keep it in New York? You shouldn't have to come to the Mecca. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
Yeah,
What's wrong with Master P next year coming to the Mecca? You know what I mean? What's wrong with, Bun B and them popping out next year? What's wrong with,
Man, how about 5 years?
Dr. Dre.
We get the first 5 years, and then from there on out, it can go all over the map.
I like the idea of different regions getting their biggest
like
venue.
an all-star game.
You know what I mean? I just like
it's cool, but
Dodger Stadium this year.
right. It's a thing to come to the place it was birthed every year.
Fair play.
I
think that would be
Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta the year
I-
after that.
I honestly don't.
The Orange Bowl in Miami the year after that. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You go to Mecca when
That's true. They don't.
Not the
Mecca
Orange
don't come
Bowl.
to you.
Wherever the
Exactly.
Dolphins play
You
for
go
the
to
dickhead in the
Mecca,
comments.
you pray at Mecca, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I honestly think that there are a segment of people in the community, in the industry, that really don't like that it started in New York aspect of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And anytime that there's a reminder of that, or anytime you throw it out there, either as an argument or even as a matter of fact, when we're celebrating 50 years of this culture, it's a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It started here.
You feel me?
You know what I mean? So why not celebrate it here? Why
The
can't we
basketball
be the
Hall of
focal
Fame is in
point
Springfield, bro.
right now? You know what I mean?
So
feel
Yankee
me?
Stadium every summer?
You go to
Every
Springfield
summer.
every year, bro.
Bro,
That's
like
where it was birthed.
And this goes back to what Jav be saying, that, like, Atlanta and the South be having the little brother energy, because it's like, yeah, y'all had it for this long, for so long. The fact that New York right now, in this year, in this time, maybe just in this month, has the limelight, has the shine being put on them. And motherfuckers is coming out the woodworks like, oh, nah, like, well, why are we only talking about New York? Bro, relax.
And I'm sorry, man. It's not a beyond of you pop out to New York. It's other things to do, man. You know what I mean? Places
That's
to eat.
not to say that any other
places
town.
to party. Roofs to take selfies on.
The editing,
what I'm
the editing
saying?
will be vainglorious, bro.
Bro,
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on. Got some shit
all
to
right,
do.
we got
This is a live. You get muted right now.
That's my the fuck are you talking episode censor, you know what I mean?
One a night.
That's
yo,
good.
the observer people think,
That's gonna be said.
the observer people think steady.
One episode, that's what I be aiming for, man.
Yo, Mase, what the fuck?
Could you possibly rewind?
Hey, yo, you know what I mean? Hey, let's move on. Let's get up out of here. Let's get to the stretch
shit.
front. DJ Khaled. It came out during Hip Hop 50 week that Khaled has a new album coming out. And you know what? On the rarest of occasions, I'm gonna go first.
Good.
I don't have much to say. It came out in the midst of saying that Hov would have a new verse on the Khaled album, and I think Drake has 2 records on the Khaled. I think Quavo's on the Khaled.
Yep.
There's a lot of niggas on this Khaled album.
Probably
Lil
Ross.
Baby and
I'm
somebody else.
gonna flip the topic,
Okay.
and I'm gonna ask the rap round table, and if Josh wants to chime in the background, he can. Chat, if you want to chime in, you can. Why the fuck do we need another Khaled album? Hip hop, rap. Khaled is the only nigga in rap history to get all-star teams and make men every time. He ain't made a fire album in like 10 years. Whatever year I'm On One came out was the last time the album was fire. I don't need another Khaled. Why the fuck, Sin? Why the fuck? Why do we need that?
You're asking the wrong person. Okay. I don't have an answer for you, bro. We talked earlier about lack of inspiration. These Khaled projects be the most uninspired of them all. Mm-hmm. They are the most cash-grabbingest projects that you will find in the space, man. Every single album that he's dropped in recent memory has been hollow, vapid, just unnecessary. And then, and like you said, you grab all of these top-tier A-list names. You know what I mean? Now, I'm gonna give a shout out to this guy on Twitter that goes by Joey at Gotham Hip Hop. Right? I don't always agree with everything he says. You know what I mean?
That's the beauty of hip hop.
But he tweeted this shit had me chuckling. He said DJ Khaled albums be like the track list includes Drake, Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Kanye West, Kendrick, Eminem, The Weeknd, Taylor Swift. Number of good songs. 3.
Yo,
that is every single time with a DJ Khaled album.
Yo.
He's not tired. You not tired, bro? Like, come on, man. We don't need this.
That's crazy.
I want to shout out Khaled, man, because Khaled got some classic singles, man. I'm on one.
Fact.
All I do is win.
There's literally 3 on every album.
know,
That's why
4
that
free.
hit so
Thank
hard.
you for saying that, because he does have bangers.
Yes.
Wild Thoughts still go off in his spot.
Wild Thoughts,
Like, come on.
Wild Thoughts better than Wild Thoughts. Carry on.
I agree. But, and it's not often that you take to the point guard to the take him to the side and be like, I think that was the wrong play you called. It's not often you do that. But I think Joff asked the wrong question.
Talk to me.
I think the question is, have we ever needed a Khaled album?
Oh,
because
shit.
all these shits is whack, bro.
Wow,
I've listened
bro.
to Khaled
That's
albums,
crazy,
bro.
bro.
There's never been a good one ever, bro.
Just drop the singles, right?
He could have just released these singles.
Just drop the singles.
And he would have been good,
Just
bro.
drop the singles, bro.
Job.
That's
We
all
don't
you
need
need to
none
do.
of them, bro.
3 fire ones on every album.
Not
Literally.
The
one.
Rap Roundtable.
But but maybe he doesn't know which ones are the fire ones. He needs.
But who's going to tell Khaled these shits is not hitting?
Us?
The white people in the office are telling him,
We
you know what?
supposed to.
You know what? Punch's tweet earlier. Khaled is an amalgamation of everything Punch was talking about.
Absolutely.
A bunch of niggas getting together who's supposed to be elite, putting out some mid, and not moving niggas. Could you imagine if Clue got the lineup that Khaled was getting back in '98?
Yo, those
Matter of fact, he
those
did
cool
get that
shit.
lineup, and we got the professional.
Yes.
Even when Kanye was getting them type of niggas on albums, shit was going
5,
amazing.
7 mics. Fuck it.
Come on, man.
Khaled is fumbling the bag with the all-star team. He's getting the Olympic team every album.
He winning 3 games.
All Dr. Dre needed was the West Coast All-Star team. He got
Could you
ironic, bro.
imagine if he had the access
Talk
to the
about
West Coast and the East Coast for Detox? That might never drop. I'm just saying.
Come on, bro. Let's be honest here.
Isn't Khaled supposed to be the #1 curator in the space? So what the fuck is
But
he curating?
I think the game that he's playing, because he doesn't know what's actually going to hit, is just let me put out 11, 12 songs and see which 3 are going to hit.
So you saying Khaled is a baseball player? He's trying to hit 300?
He's the 300.
That's a lot in baseball.
Khaled retired. We need Beat Novocaine back, my nigga. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Chat, how y'all feel about that? Y'all think Khaled, do we need another Khaled album in 2023? I don't need another 10-minute Hov verse. I'm going to tell you that right now. Hov, you said you want this album? Just give us a 16, maybe a 24. Stop right there. If you're gonna give us
Or the
1,000
whole song,
bars,
bro, like-
drop the album. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
All that.
100 bars, give us an album,
That's
bro.
a few songs,
You know
100
what I mean?
bars.
That's all I'm saying, but let's move on. Masito, voice of the young people.
It's the vibes.
Are you the voice of the industry tonight, or are you the voice of the young people tonight?
We the voice of the young people tonight.
Let's talk
Okay.
about
We
it.
gave the industry a voice last time.
Copy.
Industry not really shaking shit up this week, so we gonna hit young rap, and we not even gonna get gossipy with it. You know, the chatty boys check us. You know what I mean?
Chatty
We might
boys.
pop out
When
later.
Sincere is not available,
Get different.
Chatty boys is on deck.
Sid is a secret chatty boy, man. Y'all gotta
Low
check
key.
the group chat, man.
Low key chatty
Like he's the Manu Ginobili of chatty boys, bro.
Let us know if y'all need a Chatty Boys podcast by yourself. We'll make something happen for y'all. We'll give the people what
That's
they
a fact.
want.
Listen, man, that might be the whole Patreon is the chatty boys.
Chatty boys.
But we just,
Shit. Talk about it,
you
man.
feel me? But we just gonna talk music this week. You know what I mean? Jov, he mentioned Quavo's album, so we gonna get into a little bit of Quavo. He dropped Rocket Power. First album since Takeoff's death. You know what I mean? It's a personal album for Quavo. You know what I mean? For what that's worth. You know what I mean? He's not a great lyricist, so it's like it's harder for people with vapid lyrics to kind of, you know, convey their deep thoughts. But it's not like he shies away from it. You know what I mean? So, you know, and it's I understand. We talking about a Quavo album. I try not to go too hard. You know, I understand that McDonald's burgers don't have garlic powder on them. You know what I mean? I understand. You know what I mean? So I try to grade it on a curve, but it's like, man, in 2017, it ain't no way you could have told me that Quavo wasn't gonna have the little baby gonna run. You know what I mean? Like, he was the guy. He was right on par with Future and Thug. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm a little bit disappointed. You know what I mean? I feel like most of the features on the album outdo him. I understand Job. I fuck with a couple joints, but it's like Future sounded better than him. Thug sounded better than him. Even Baby Drill sounded better than him.
Rest in
bro.
peace, Takeoff sounded better than
Listen,
you,
that's
right?
next. Rest in peace, Takeoff. Takeoff sounded like one of the best rappers I ever heard on this
Takeoff has
album.
moments.
I don't
bro.
know if I just miss him because he passed, but Takeoff's verses on this album were epic, bro.
Takeoff
So
had joints, bro.
rest in peace to Take, man. You know what I mean? It's like in another album that dropped this week, ESTG, El Toro 2. You know, I know Mad Max is gonna ask why I didn't talk about this one.
Whatever happened to that nigga in that comment section who was mad that we didn't talk about EST?
Cussed us out when we had already talked about ESTG like 3 weeks before, but
Just have to
whatever.
listen.
I'm gonna be honest though, man. Like ESTG, he dropped like in the fourth quarter of last year. He dropped earlier this year. He kind of bugging if he think I'm gonna listen to 20 tracks like again this year. Sorry, ESTG. I'm gonna be honest. Like, you know what I mean? I get it, you the new Jeezy and all, but come on, my nigga. These and that just comes into, you know.
Come on, my nigga, for me.
I get what we saying. This kind of goes in what we were mentioning about, you know, people really caring about the culture, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like these new artists, you know what I mean? The Quavo album was 18 tracks. This was 20 tracks. It's like, yo, y'all gotta stop with these reckless releases. You know what I mean? NBA Youngboy does it. Dirk does it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, we had mixtapes back in the day. I get it. Y'all mixtapes is streaming now, but it's like y'all have like no regard. Y'all just throw a bunch of tracks on an album, bro. How can somebody really love your artistry if you don't even love your artistry? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna need the young artists to get into that. And I think the last artist I'm gonna speak about, you know, you might not think of this guy as when you think of young rap. You know what I'm saying? But he is the same age as Quavo. Same age as Joey Bad. Sin dropped him in the chat earlier. I was quiet because I already had something to say about him. Mick Jenkins dropped this week. The Patience out of Chicago.
How
you know
old
what I mean?
is Mick Jenkins?
32. That's Quavo's age. That's Joey Badass age. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take him into young rap because
No, I didn't know.
we only had whack shit to talk about this week. So I had to bring some fire in here. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna be honest, man. Mick Jenkins, The Patience. The first listen on this joint, it gave me that album of the year feel, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, this is some heat. You know what I
The
mean?
link will be in the description.
Sin threw Show and Tell with Gibbs in the chat. He threw Sitting Ducks with Benny in the chat. Smoke Breakdance with JID goes crazy. 007 crazy. 2004 crazy. And when I say it's 11 tracks, you know what I mean? You can tell that he picked the best of the best. You know what I mean? And that's what I need more younger artists to cater to. You know what I mean? Sin, cook.
Can
We
I
never
chime
get to
in?
send opinion
Yeah.
on a young rap.
Yeah,
So we
I
gotta,
need to
we
chime
gotta
in
clear
real
out,
quick.
bro.
Is this the
Because-
first time he's chimed in on Young Rap?
It might be, bro.
I've been on Mick Jenkins pause.
Yow.
Yo, you might have to mute me. But I've been, a low-key fan. I think since like 2017. I'm trying to check. 2018. Pieces of a Man.
Sin, you heard?
Pieces of a Man was a fire-ass album. And so I just heard like this morning that Mick Jenkins dropped a project today, and I was like, I'm on that shit. So obviously it's pod day. I'm preparing for the pod, but like on the way over here, I spun it. And when I tell you, like I was on the train, and I talked about my little talking points earlier. So I'm jotting my little talking points in the notes and whatever, and I'm listening to this project, and I'm like, no, chill. I gotta cut this shit off because I'm not gonna have it on as background music while I'm, preparing for the podcast. There was something about it sonically that made me like my ears perk up and be like, you know what? Let me cut this off. I'll come back to it when I could put my full attention to it, because this motherfucker was snapping. And he had, like Mase said, Benny the Butcher on it, J.I.D. on it, Freddie Gibbs on it. All those tracks was fire. And yeah, man, so I think I got to about like halfway through it, and I was like, nah, this should sound too hot for me just to have it on as background music. Which goes back to a point. A lot of people be making music just to have background music on.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Kickback era.
And so when I listen to this, I'm like, nah. He wants to be. This is something that should be taken seriously. It should have my 100% undivided attention. So I'm gonna come back to it. But like May said, it had that album of the year kind of feel to the
Real
sound.
talk,
So
real talk.
you know what I mean? I can't say one way or another just yet. I'm gonna have to spin the whole thing. But it looks like a quick listen. 11 songs, 28 minutes. So
You said the
Word,
joint
dog.
with Benny and the Sitting Ducks, and that was fire. I only got to listen to that one. That was fire.
It was serious, bro.
And we talk about the young rap, and we talk about what Punch discussed as far as the space lacking inspiration. But then it's like, what is the inspiration when, if you look at the new Quavo album that came out, the Rap Life playlist that Mase told y'all, as much as radio still is what it is, the playlist is where it needs to be at. You could say rap is lacking inspiration, but if I'm a person that's lit as Quavo and I drop a new album, he has 6 songs on that Rap Life Apple Music playlist on the day of release. You dig what I'm saying? Like that's
mid-album.
Heavy.
So it's like, to me, the system is designed to where you gotta do certain things to get seen,
Right.
or you drop some classic shit like the person Sid is talking about, and you will never get heard because you're not on this playlist.
Right.
Because from the playlist, if this song stands out, I might want to check this artist out. Quavo got 6 songs, y'all.
6.
Day one.
So
6.
we gotta shout out Mick Jenkins, man. I think that might be the first Sin ISO on the young rap. I feel proud of myself. I finally brought some shit to fuck with, gang. The fuck you talking about?
We're going to tap in, and also from Chicago, I Am God. If you haven't tapped into I Am God yet, we had him
Man.
we've reviewed his album.
Also
We had him
out
on
of
the
Chicago.
platform.
Talented.
Another person from Chicago who's really spitting, really delivering that rap the way you want it to be heard. I Am God. Tap in. Mace, you got anything else?
Nah, that was it. All
section?
music this week, man. And Mick
Now-
Jenkins definitely had to finish it off, man. Great album. Y'all need to check that out.
We got the mailbag. My favorite segment. So, as a person who loves this content creation shit, who loves potting, everybody at this table can agree and they can co-sign me when I say, like, to me, the greatest podcasts or the greatest platforms are polarizing. If you drop a platform and everybody agrees with you, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. You need to have that balance between people agreeing and people disagreeing. That's why when people say, oh, you just want niggas to agree with you, it's like, hell no, we never potted for people to agree with us. Even before we knew what we had as a podcast, we never cared about niggas. We had our takes individually. Shit, when I used to tag y'all on social media, we always had difference of opinions.
If I cared about that, I would rate all of Nas's albums 10 out of 10.
There you go. So, with Hip Hop 50, I noticed that the Rap Roundtable's finally landed into that space where there's a level of polarity. Nobody knows They can't get a good read on us anymore.
Real talk.
We've landed in that sweet spot of being polarized to where niggas want to agree or disagree simultaneously. So to say the Rap Snob, I got a couple of posts for you for the Rap Roundtable's mailbag.
Say less.
Kevin Jones says, this is a Hove hate podcast. He got more shine off of one verse than Nas got off of 5 albums. Now, we've been called the Hovenger podcast for years.
We have.
This nigga said we a Hove hate podcast.
Interesting.
Off of what? What were we hating on?
I don't know, bro. We were just talking about Hip Hop 50
Hey,
and it's like they're rough. KC1 says, y'all need to stop giving Jay passes. Raw God 912 says, the Rap Roundtable sponsored by Mass Appeal.
Wow.
So
Can't make
we've gotten to a point where we have people who think we hate Hove and we hate Nas.
incredible.
Bro,
Consider Rap Snob.
I'm gonna get a little
Take your
I'm
time,
gonna
Sid.
go a little left, get a little esoteric, but like it's theorized that like if there was a hole dug on one side of the earth all the way to the other side of the earth, you know how they used to do on the Bugs Bunny cartoons, and like when Bugs Bunny used to, you know, go through that shit, he would wind up in like China or whatever, but what would really happen is like you would fall through the shit and you would end up floating in the middle at some point. You know what I mean? Because that's where the center of gravity is. I feel like we finally, as a podcast, gotten to that center of gravity.
Yes.
We're just floating
Yes.
in the middle where you can't like my boy Joff said, you can't get a read on us. Are we pro Nas or are we against Nas? Are we pro Hov or are we against Hov? You know what? We are pro facts. We are pro the truth.
Pro rap.
We are pro rap. We are pro
Hip-hop.
just telling it like it is, bro. And if telling it like it is means like, yo, Jay, you know, dropped the ball with this Hip Hop 50 thing. That's what we're gonna say. If he drops an album next week and it's a fucking classic, we're gonna call it a fucking classic. You know what I mean? Nas, if you know what I mean? If he drops Illmatic, it was written KD3. You know what I mean? That's a classic. If he drops Nostradamus, Lost Tapes 2, Nasir, not so much. We gonna call it like it is. But the fact that we are finally in that center of gravity, I love it here, bro.
Right.
I love it here. I've been wanting that since we started this podcast.
You know?
Anyway, you do need a balance.
Yes, sir.
More balance.
Wow.
These are 2 long entries into the lexicon. I'm So Focused says, Jay has ties with the media. So even if the hip-hop community stops rocking with him, he won't ever be canceled by media unless he goes against the grain and starts talking about that anti-establishment shit. And the Book of Hov itself is a paid tribute to Jay. Roc Nation paid for that. If the Brooklyn Public Library would have did that for Jay on their own, then it would have been a different story. Rob from the Future says, how many weddings, parties, funerals, mandatory work meetings have we all missed in our lifetimes for whatever reason? Y'all need to relax. I get why people don't care for Jay, but to crucify him for his every move is ass as fuck. Y'all wanted to exist in a world where Nas finally gets his just due on an almost unanimous front, and instead of celebrating Nas, his fans, Nas fans, would rather worry about what Jay is doing. He, Jay, did his job. He created a conversation, a dialogue where his name will be mentioned when speaking of hip-hop greats, especially when Nas' name is mentioned. So you have 2 polar opposite comments. What do you say to those?
Salute to the last one, because he's covering a lot of ground. Salute, man. I mean, it's legendary shit, man. Like, we're not gonna act like if Nas lyrics was on the cover of the Queens Public Library, that shit, people would not be jumping off fucking roofs. People would be visiting from Atlanta to rooftops. You know what I'm saying? To celebrate Nas. So they're fucking wild. Shout out to the first dude too, in another sense, because I get it. But like I said, this is a perfect time for a Nas fan. It's a perfect time for a Jay fan. Jay got out the way, let Nas do what he do for Hip Hop 50. Hov doing his thing with the library shit. Plus, I thought about it. September 29th, if I'm not mistaken, makes the 25th anniversary of Hard Knock Life. So, one of the greatest tours of hip hop all time, maybe the biggest one we had prior to shit going crazy nowadays. For all we know, maybe we might get a Hard Knock Life Volume 2, Part 2. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Like,
I just work here.
you never know with Hov. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not counting Hov out. And salute to Nas. Both things can happen at the same time. We don't live in a vacuum, bro.
We don't live in a vacuum. Thank you.
Masito, this one is for you. Jermaine Plummer 4042 says he had
Plummer.
He had 2 entries.
Oh, yeah, 2. All right,
He says, so y'all saying Jay is bigger than hip hop. He also says it wasn't a Nas show. It was a hip hop 50. Niggas, fuck y'all talking about. Jay stands.
Listen, man. No. You know,
Nobody said that.
Let me break it down for Jermaine. Jay fan, listen. He like Jay. He like Nas. I don't know if you like either. And I'd rather listen to Tupac than either. Okay, that's how we break shit down.
Why
Okay,
you say you don't know if he likes
Because he's
either?
the fakest whole fan.
because he be slandering both.
But he likes both. He likes
my
both.
2 favorite rappers.
It depends on your perspective. He
It
likes
depends
both.
on the perspective.
But then he also saying
I'll be hearing slander for both.
You gotta keep it a beam.
You know what I
Gotta
mean?
keep it a beam.
So listen, man. And the first one he said, "Oh, it wasn't a." Can you run back that first one?
So
Joe?
y'all saying Jay is bigger than hip hop? I felt like nobody had that energy.
That's why I forgot the statement, because I don't even remember anybody saying that. No, bro. Like, nobody's bigger than the culture. Like, come on now. What? Of course not. Like, when did we say that? How did you get that from our video? Nah, absolutely not. Hell no.
And he said
Shouts
it
to
wasn't a
Jermaine.
Nas show. It was a hip hop 50. Niggas, fuck y'all talking about. Jay stands.
Jay stands?
If Nas controls mass appeal, and we give Nas the credit for putting an excellent show together, are you saying we should not give Nas that credit?
Right. And we just asked the obvious question that all of hip hop was asking. Where was Jay, bro? Like, come on now.
They can't make up their minds, man.
It's crazy.
They're going to get mad either way.
The other day, I woke up and saw this notification on Twitter to one of my tweets, completely unrelated to anything hip hop. But he was like, while everybody was like, I'll say what it is. I was posting my sneakers. I almost never do this, right? But I posted my sneakers. Everybody was showing love because I got the Jordan 3 white cements on.
What's your favorite shits, ain't it?
My favorite shits of all time, right? So I posted the sneakers. Everybody showing love. It was like, yo, it was fire then, it was fire now. This one guy came in and was like, the sneakers are too thick for me. 3 thumbs down. And when I seen that shit, I was like, yo, some motherfuckers wake up in the morning like, how can I hate today? What can I hate on? What's some random innocuous shit
I'm niggas.
that I can just fucking hate on?
Pause that niggas getting in sin comments talking about he's too thick, bro. Like, I don't
Right.
like that, bro. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, yo,
Get out of sin's
pause
comments,
that.
bro.
Yo, but like, I feel like some people just got hate quotas that they got to fill by sundown. You know what I mean? And like, even when we're saying the shit
quotas, I
that
like
they
that.
want to hear, we're saying the shit you want to hear. You basically agree with us, but somehow you spin it in a way where you have to hate.
Son said
That's a
hate
fucking
is Jay-Z
disease,
bigger
bro.
than hip-hop. We had a whole
I gotta-
conversation about should Jay-Z be canceled. Nobody said Hope was bigger than hip-hop. In fact, we talked about him failing while me saying that it's still hip-hop 50 for the calendar year of 2023. That was the whole conversation. How he gained Jay-Z's bigger than hip-hop from that is beyond me. But to some positive energy.
What's the word?
The bigger reality says, it's nice to see hip-hop podcasts in a resurgence now. I love it. Say Ayadolo 6875 says, my favorite show. Salute, fellas. And on the rarest of occasions, guys, I got a compliment. It's rare.
Hey.
Salute.
Is it your first one?
Yeah. BG
That means y'all
Method
tripping then.
3989 says, I love what Job does. all the humor, gaslighting, instigating, low-key holding Jay-Z accountable, but also not allowing the Nas love to go too far. It's all entertaining. I appreciate the show.
He got you pegged, bro.
He gets the show.
Like 100%.
So, BG, first of all,
Nah, it's the gaslighting for me, bro.
He understood the assignment.
That guy knows what he's watching, man.
so
Because he turns to me
He's
and be
plugged
saying the
in.
wildest shit.
You
Like, bro,
plugged in,
am I
bro.
crazy?
You all plugged in.
Am I crazy?
say, chill out.
Yo, John.
It takes me sometimes I've known this man for so long, and sometimes it takes me a couple seconds to be like,
Sometimes
oh,
man,
no, I
He
know what he's
fucking with
doing.
me.
I know what he's doing. I know what he's
Listen,
doing.
man.
But it'll take me a good 2 seconds to figure
Listen,
it
man.
out sometimes.
Jaw was
I'll be like,
slandering
wait.
Tupac in the chat one day. I was sick, man.
Frustrated.
I hit him on the side like, what's good with you, bro?
Hey, first and foremost, shout out to Say Ayadolo 6875 and of course the Bigger Reality 18 for giving us a compliment. We do this shit because we love this shit.
Thanks,
you know what I'm saying? But to BG Method 3989, thank you. And as Deanie said, you get the show. It took 4 years. But somebody gets the show. I've been fucking with y'all the whole time. Niggas get really mad.
Upset.
And they don't figure out what's going on.
Come on, man. Come
I
on.
put the Met hat on and niggas still got mad. I told niggas I'm wearing the Mets hat and they still got mad.
When you see the Mets hat, you know what it is.
It's-
Again, it's not a Mets hat.
Free smoke.
But it's a Mets
Free
hat at this
smoke.
point.
Free
It's
smoke.
bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Between the lines, y'all. Between the lines.
Y'all seen Mason Sin tell y'all. Josh in the cut laughing. Everybody gets it except a slew of people.
We try to pull the curtain back every so often.
It's the gaslighting.
Uncover
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on, man.
Yes, I gaslight people. Yes, I lie and tell the truth at the same time. It's a sham mockery, but I love y'all. Hit the like button.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Now we're uptown.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting chased by some people who don't get the show. I stumble over, I step on some flowers, realize I'm in front of Sincere's lawn, and the people who are chasing me get there as well, and he's asking them too. Get off my lawn. Get off Sincere's lawn.
Yes. This is a special lawn because in an hour and a half, it'll be my birthday.
Talk about it.
Shouts to me.
So sincere.
Legend.
So, it's only right that I make this lawn something that's worth it. Stands.
Oh,
Gotta get off my lawn. But not general generic stands. Because that, at this point, like every artist got a stand. You know what I mean? There's Nicki stands, there's Jay stands, there's Nas stands, there's all types of stands out there. Because the word is taking
I'm a
on
Barbie.
a meaning. You know what I mean?
Hey, cool.
And I think I've talked about like general stands in the past on my lawn, but like this lawn specifically is about stands. The real stands. The Eminem stand.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
top row.
OVO team, we safe.
I mean, Eminem basically made the word. He made a whole song about it.
Okay.
Did a whole video. Boy looked crazy in the video. You know what I mean? And somehow there's a segment of fans out there that heard the song, watched the video, and was like, you know what? That's what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be that guy. Bro, y'all need to get a life out there, for real, man. We've been talking about Eminem recently with the whole Melly Mel fiasco and everything. You know what I mean? And hey, again, to our credit, I think we've played both sides of the coin pretty fairly. You know what I mean? Melly Mel was wildin', but Eminem was kind of wildin' too. You know what I mean? But apparently the stands have found us. Watched a couple of our videos. Left all types of comments, calling us all types of thugs,
N-words.
racist, the whole N-word.
Hard R.
with the hard R at the end.
My fault, Sin. I stepped on your point. My
Nah,
bad.
it's all
No,
good.
we got some URs too. NIGGURs in there as well.
You are, bro. And then if that wasn't enough, apparently I made a certain stand, one particular stand, the angriest out there, because I woke up this morning to 23 notifications from one account.
What?
Wow.
On what platform?
On Twitter.
He didn't tell us this, guys.
I did not.
New information.
This is shocking.
He took my screenshot several times. He found me on Twitter. He took my screenshot several times. Call me an Eminem hater. Call me an albino.
Wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's crazy, bro. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Wow.
Albinism, you know. Shouts to Cron Don out there.
23 messages.
We can't make this shit up.
But bro, this one particular, and I'm not gonna say your name because I'm not gonna give you that shine, bro, at all. But I'm scrolling through the 23 whole notifications. He took my screenshot like 3 different times and posted it on Twitter, saying that this guy's a bro. If you're staying out there, please get a life, or just go ahead and drive off that bridge like your namesake.
Hey.
One way or another, you gotta get off my fucking lawn. And happy birthday to me.
Yo, this nigga probably got a picture of Sid
Oh
with like
shit!
mad darts
Matter
in
of
it.
fact,
Oh shit.
in the midst of laughing at the racism,
20,
we had a technical difficulty.
23 notifications because you the GOAT, Sin.
Get off the lawn.
Get off his dick.
If you are an Eminem stan
Wow.
and you find the need to take time to search people out and be racist, if you found a way to slander albino people who can't help that they don't have pigment, if you found a way to think that saying the hard R will somehow get under our skin because we're black, we are sociopaths at the Rap Roundtable.
Wow.
Your insults give us energy. We love that shit.
Facts.
Yo,
You tried,
there was a dude.
but in fact, you just made yourself content. And I bet you hope that we would have said your name on air. But we would never give you that blind. Oh, shit.
Legendary lawn, Sin.
And a special fuck you to the guy that said, you racist niggers, which I thought was like some epic shit.
And I'm going to take it a step further. If you think calling us niggers, finding sincere on fucking Twitter and giving them 23 notifications is going to get us upset, all we have to say to you is, go rub some ass. Find a nice looking lady who likes you, wants to spend time with you, and go rub some cheeks. And if you're too much of a dweeb and you can't do that, please. Get off my lawn. They need a balance. Take us home.
Get him.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, jumping.
RoundtableMerch.com.
Yes.
Know it.
Hit that like button.
Hit that like
Know
button.
it. We got the
Subscribe.
merch. You see the hats.
So you can look fly like us.
RoundtableMerch.com. Website is up. Links is on deck. Merch on deck.
You know.
Fuck with us.
We made Josh proud because Josh told us for 6 months straight, get that fucking website.
We did it, Josh.
We did it, Josh.
We on
Josh.
deck, man.
You know
Yo,
what I mean?
you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere.
All those?
Hit them, all those.
God
Everywhere. Hit them likes, hit them subscribes. Fuck with us. We everywhere. Fuck with us.
We
Shout
might
out-
hit TikTok. Maybe.
Shit.
Possibly.
Right?
Loading.
Shout out to super
And
producer
Patreon.
Josh for putting up with us. We rocking out.
My
You know what I'm
God,
saying? We
that's
appreciate
the-
you all
that's
day,
the
every
homie,
day.
For real.
Salute to Masito, voice of the industry. Today, the young people have to keep you tapped into what's going on in the culture from the younger aspects.
My God.
Tomorrow, we're celebrating a legend's birthday. So sincere.
Oh,
you hear the
this
production,
is like a-
Motherfucking mayor.
the technician.
I'm outside. Holla at me.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie Jarvie, the motherfucking point guard, the alley-oops, the court transition impeccable, my
Is
brother.
he the GOAT podcaster?
No question.
I
Trying.
think
He
so.
opened the door for
I think
us, my dude. You know what I'm saying?
Salute to Job, bro.
Salute to Job. You know what I'm saying? He opened the door.
Salute to you on your birthday, my guy.
Making your
outside.
shit hot.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Dean, the balance of the force with our powers combined, man. This is episode 78 of the motherfucking Rap Roundtable. We out here,
Yes,
you
sir.
dig? Go get that merch.
The heroes you need.
Roundtable.
Sincere birthday, put up a shot for him. Put up a shot for the homie Ease.
So sincere.
Fresh Out Podcast.
Fresh Out,
Man.
niggas,
Josh.
man.
All-
My
Whoa,
niggas.
couldn't be
Fresh
here
Out,
with
what
us.
up?
All the real motherfuckers out
All the
there.
real
Salute to
niggas
Demi.
who love the culture.
Shout out to Demi.
Not vultures.
You
And if we
heard?
don't, well, we should, you know what?
Adriel, Marcos, LB,
Mad Max.
Jermaine
Max,
Johnson.
Nas's Gold. We fuck with all of y'all.
Fuck with
man.
everybody, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I know we forgetting people out here. Lynn Vore.
Free with the 2 3s,
With the
my
2
guy.
3s.
Mad Max,
All the
you
y'all
in
niggas
here?
who tapped in. And all the new subscribers who followed the route and said, you know, we fuck with y'all. Salud, Sin.
Yes.
Salud.
Oh, Adrian on TikTok. You know what I mean? You're not on
Jermaine L.
TikTok. Get on there and
Johnson.
follow
What
her.
up, nigga?
Nah,
Sir.
we outside.